Relay FM. This is Connected, episode 431. Happy New Year! It's time for the Rickies. This episode is brought to you by ExpressVPN and Hover. My name is Mike Hurley, and I have the pleasure of introducing Federico Viticci.
Hello, Mike, and Happy New Year. Or,
Why, thank you.
Buon anno.
Oh, thank you.
It's also my pleasure to introduce our other friend from America, Mr. Stephen Hackett. Hello, Stephen. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, guys.
How would you say it in Tennessee?
Happy New Year, y'all.
Okay, there you go. It's exactly what I wanted.
Well, we are here. The world has made it around the sun one more time.
Just barely, but yeah, seems like it.
So this is our annual predictions episode. We're going to do two things in this episode. We're going to grade our picks we made for 2022. We have gone through these. We have discussed. We have scored them. So we'll talk about all that. And we will be making picks for 2023. You can follow along at rickies.co and rickies.net. We have links in the show notes to both of those, the specific pages for the 2022 picks. And I'm sure 2023 picks will be on those sites very shortly. We do have some things we need to deal with in the rules, and my thought was we should just read the rules and deal with them. Let's just jump right in. How does that sound?
So here's my question, because, we so infrequently do rule changes around here that I think it's probably a good idea to just refresh our memory. Do you want to read them? We wait until you've read them and then we address or discuss the rule changes? Or do you want us to stop you? Or do you want to stop at points to address them? How would you like to do it as the reader of the rules?
Let me read the entire thing because I think it is its own, complete work, and then we can go back in. It's one very specific issue, I think. So
yeah, okay. But I think it's a pretty important one.
It is, but I think it's just one thing. I've read through them again last night. I don't think there's any other things we need to deal with. So please stand for the reading of the rules.
I'm doing it.
The Rickies is a game connected hosts play before Apple keynotes in the beginning of a new year, trying to predict future events. It is made up of 3 rounds. Each host makes 2 regular picks, followed by a risky pick. There are 2 types of Rickies: annual Rickies, which we're playing today, and keynote Rickies. The winner of the annual Rickies is named the annual chairman and retains the rights to the corresponding Twitter account for the full year. That's what we have to deal with. This position is awarded every January. Hello, it's January. The keynote Rickies winner is named the keynote chairman and retains the right to the corresponding Twitter account until the next keynote is held. After the Rickies, the hosts then play a game called the Flexies. These 2 games are separate but related. I had you standing for the preamble. I'm sorry. Please stand for the reading of the rules. Please remain standing.
Wait, so I sat down. I've sat back down again.
Sit down and then stand back up. I'm sorry.
I'm back up now.
Okay, well, this is exercise. Okay.
Yes, I'm sorry. Correct regular picks are awarded 1 point. The language used for regular picks must be finalized and agreed upon during recording, and no partial points may be awarded. Correct risky picks are worth 2 points, but wrong ones will cause a point to be deducted from the host total. Picks must have been approved as risky by the 2 other hosts before the start of the game. A pick cannot be named risky if it has been previously rumored by publications of record, 9to5Mac, or Mac Rumors.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, it's good. Picks made for keynote Rickies cannot be reused by the host who made them for the next keynote. The annual Rickies have their own subset of rules. Once a host chooses something as an annual pick, they cannot reuse it in that calendar year. Additionally, picks may not be used in back-to-back annual Rickies by the same host. All hosts are allowed to reuse picks previously made by others. Scoring is completed during recording and cannot be modified once an episode is complete. In the event of a tie, Dice by PCalc must be used in Relay FM mode to pick a winner. Jason Snell has a lifetime ban on flipping any coins in relation to the Rickies. Coin flips by Jason on other podcasts are allowed, but are frowned upon and subject to public shaming.
Boo.
For the keynote Rickies, the scoring window starts when the event begins and closes when the picks are scored. Any information used in scoring must be publicly verifiable at the time of recording. The order of picks is set by previous performance. The winner of the previous associated game goes first. The previous loser goes last. Winners will be recognized during the closing ceremonies. As a reminder, I am the current annual chairman, and Federico is the current keynote chairman. Past results can be seen at rickies.co and rickies.net. Those sites also have pages about managing your own scorekeeping at home. Please be seated.
I am set.
Okay.
We have an obvious problem here.
Yeah.
We all left Twitter,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and the prize is use of special Twitter accounts.
Well,
So I don't know. The floor is open to debate.
I think the prize changed when the trophies were introduced.
Yeah.
Because when the trophies were introduced, I didn't care about the Twitter account anymore. I just liked that the trophy. I liked having a trophy, and the trophy would accurately update. So I think we can just remove that line. Just is named the annual chairman at blank, and then just that's it.
I agree, but I'm just gonna throw it up there. I think down the line there should be a chairman Mastodon instance.
Oh, now, this is tantalizing.
Chairman plural dot social or something.
Oh, I like it. And one of us gets kicked out of the instance.
Yes.
Wow.
If they are not holding a
Well, that can be a project for future us.
For now, I would say we remove that line, but we table the Mastodon instance discussion for future debate. But I love the idea.
It's like it's just the three of us, and we cycle through who's part of the instance and who isn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's a great idea, but
Okay.
we'll see how.
Well,
So I've removed the Twitter references. Let me reread those two bullets for you. The winner of the annual Rickies is named the annual chairman. This position is awarded every January. The keynote Rickies winner is named the keynote chairman, and then I guess the position is held until the next keynote.
Yeah, so they match up.
This position is held until the next
Keynote.
Okay, relatively straightforward.
That's nice and tidy.
Yeah, that feels good.
Well, until chairman.social's made. That's like a whole other thing.
So we have gone through, like I said, and we have graded our scores. And last time I had won, so my picks were first. So we will start grading round one right after this break. This episode of Connected is brought to you by ExpressVPN. Watching Netflix without using ExpressVPN is a bit like buying tickets for your favorite artist, but only being allowed to watch the opening act. Netflix actually has thousands of shows across different countries, but without a VPN, you only get access to a limited selection based on your location. With ExpressVPN, you can unblock those shows by amending where it thinks you're located, and it works on a bunch of other streaming services too. That means that I can watch Lord of the Rings on Turkish Netflix if I want to, or The Wolf of Wall Street on Australian Netflix. Back to the Future, Netflix Canada has it. You just open the app, one click, change your country, and then I'm in. There are so many reasons to choose ExpressVPN. My favorite is it has blazing fast speeds. You can stream in HD with no buffering at all, and it's compatible with all my devices, phones, laptops, consoles, smart TVs, and more. They have servers in 94 different countries, so you can gain access to thousands of new shows, and they work with streaming services like BBC iPlayer, YouTube, and many more. So stop paying full price for streaming services to only get access to a fraction of their content. Get your money's worth at expressvpn.com/connected. It's expressvpn.com/connected, and there you're going to get an extra 3 months of ExpressVPN for free. Our thanks to ExpressVPN for their support of the show and Relay FM. Round one. I said that in 2022, the 11-inch iPad Pro would get a mini LED display.
No, it didn't, did it? Did not get one of those.
I don't understand. There's a lot of iPad stuff in this document. And the thing that, like, if the iPad Pro had gotten the OLED, I would have gotten the point or mini LED, I guess, some new screen to match the 12-inch. It also would have helped separate the 10th gen iPad Air, 11-inch iPad Pro confusion in the middle of the lineup. It really blows my mind this didn't happen.
No, they messed up.
They did.
Like, something went wrong because it doesn't make any sense, right? Like, it doesn't make any sense why they would, like, why they just didn't do anything, right? Like, yeah, they messed up. Something went wrong.
Yeah, I have no idea. Like we talked about this before, but the iPad lineup is all kinds of confusing at the moment. No matter where you look, it's confusing in the iPad Pro sizes and updates. It's confusing in the base model iPad. In the sort of this confusion that you have in the 11-inch range of iPads. It's confusing in the accessories, in the placement of the front-facing camera. And the 11-inch iPad Pro, I think, is the probably the worst offender of all of these iPads. Like, it's sort of like an iPad Air, but just barely better, but not better in the way that you would expect it to be better. So I continue to think, and I believe that Steven agrees with me, we'll talk about it later, that this iPad has no reason to exist anymore in this current state. But yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, it's a mess. It really is.
All right.
Federico, you were in second place. What was your round one pick?
My round one pick was at least one AirPods model will support lossless music playback by the end of 2022. Now, unless we're recording this slightly in advance, unless in the next 3 days, Apple releases a set of AirPods that natively support lossless music playback, I don't get this point. I think at the time, my assumption was that we were going to get a revision of the AirPods Max within the year.
Or even the AirPods Pro, right? And they have that extra bandwidth.
And we talked about the AirPods Pro, a second gen revision, maybe having like improvements to the wireless technology, being able to natively support lossless playback. But no, it didn't happen. So no point.
It's a bummer. Isn't there a rumor that the AirPods Pro 2 may be able to do like a higher bit rate through a firmure update or something?
Yeah, it's a rumor. It's a rumor that it's been going around for the past few weeks, I think. But it's all speculation. That's not a thing that exists at the moment.
No. Mm-hmm. No, because it was I don't remember exactly the numbers or whatever, but they spoke about the fact that it had, higher, was it high? What was the higher frequency or something like that?
Additional bandwidth? I forget.
Yeah.
It was kind of weird.
Like
it was like, we're mentioning this thing, but not what it's good for. It's like, there's something else there.
Yeah. And it was also weird that like they even mentioned it. It's like, what's the point of mentioning that? But yeah, so who knows? I don't know what's going on there. My pick was Apple releases a new MacBook Air that comes with some color options not previously available in this product line.
Got it.
Yeah.
Where's the bell?
I rang it. You don't hear it through Zoom.
Oh, well, that's not my fault.
I'm
just waiting for the bell. You got to bring the bell right up to the microphone and hum while you're doing it so I can hear it, See? Thank you. See, I heard it. See, that's what I need. So then I'll know that you've rung the bell for me because that was correct. Midnight and Starlight were added to the MacBook Air line for the M2.
Well, this is a nice point. It's a very nice point.
That's one point in the old pocket for Mikey boy.
It's good.
How are you two doing? Stephen, usually you do this. I'd like you to do it now. At the end of round one, Stephen, could you give us points?
Oh, is this the attitude you're going to have?
I have 0. Federico has 0. Mike Hurley has 1.
Oh, that's good. That's a good feeling.
Oh, you're gonna be insufferable.
I know.
Well, who knows? Let's see if I win
Well,
first.
we know. Round two. Boy, did I get this wrong. The iPad's external display support goes unchanged.
Well,
I believe they call this a buzzkill pick.
Yeah, well, it's the exact opposite of that. So
yeah, it got a whole new system that barely works, but it's a whole new system.
It changed. In fact, took a while to get it right.
Have they gotten it right?
Well, it took a while to get it working. Let's say, not to get it right. But yeah, that's not a point.
Not a point.
My second regular pick was the next generation Apple Watch will have some kind of body temperature sensor. Thank you.
Thank you. We
Thank
could hear
you.
it that time.
That's a point. And yeah, the Apple Watch Series 8, is that
8.
8, but the OS is 9, right? I always get confused. It's WatchOS 9, but Watch 8.
They got to get rid of these numbers in all their products.
Yeah, or just bump it up a version and have parity between the iPhones and the OS numbers.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, there's the temperature, the wrist temperature sensor. You cannot use it to check if you have a fever or something, but it's there and it works.
Does the Ultra have this as well?
I think so.
I think it.
Okay.
I think it does. Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, it's there. It's a wrist temperature, and it establishes a baseline. You can find it in health. It's mostly designed for women's health and keeping track of your ovulation estimates and all that kind of stuff. But physically, the sensor is there.
My second pick was there will be no iPhone 14 for 5.4-inch display.
Thank you.
I like how much build-up there is in the hum before you.
Yeah, because
do
it's
the
like do I want to give him his point or not? It's like he's skeptical about it, and then he rings the bell.
Yep, and we can say goodbye to the iPhone Mini. That's what that pick was.
Yeah.
But I was being very particular there.
And just today, there's a report that Apple is, quote, very concerned about how the 14 Plus is selling. So who knows what's happening there.
Maybe it just turns out that 14, fourth phone spot is just not a good spot.
Maybe it's just cursed.
Could be.
It's cursed.
Like
I mean,
be.
historically, it had this kind of hole that Apple fills with a phone has been cursed.
Yeah.
Right?
Like it's not meant
the
to
iPhone
exist.
8
Exactly.
is one of them.
Oh gosh, the iPhone 8.
5C is one of them. Just cursed.
Maybe the universe just doesn't want it. Like that fourth phone is not supposed to exist.
Yep.
Yeah.
Could be. At the end of round 2, I have 0 points. Federico has 1 point, and Michael has 2 points.
Can still all change here.
It could all change because we're now moving into the risky picks for 2022. Mine was Apple, parenthetical, not in a direct response to a legal case, will allow developers to use payment methods outside of the App Store.
Oh, yeah. It's just like you have so much faith, right?
Well, I used to. 2022 beat it out of me.
Beat that out. Yeah. Goodbye.
There are some specific examples where developers can do this, but it's because either companies or I think mostly or entirely governments sued them or changed laws to make it possible. They did not do it of their own free will, so I do not get a point.
My risky pick. Well, before I read the text of the risky pick, I'm asking you humbly, to appreciate how imaginative and creative I was with it. Keep that in mind, fellow members of the jury, as you listen to the text of this risky pick.
Just us.
There's no jury, isn't it?
I mean, we probably are the jury, but that's not good for you.
Okay.
Right.
iOS 16 brings major changes for system-wide design customization. It continues. Apple will let users choose their app icons, and they will introduce new App Store categories for wallpaper and or icon apps. What the heck was I thinking with this one?
Man, you were excited about something.
Why? Well, I think so. The context. I think the context was iOS 15 didn't do anything in terms of UI customization, despite the success of widgets and iOS 14. So you got to think back to last year. My context was, 15 didn't do anything. That's weird. Surely 16 will do something. And and Apple will have the time, to realize how massive of a success iOS 14 was with the whole home screen aesthetic thing. And they will do big changes. There was also the theory that I had in the episode where I said, remember that rumor about wallpaper packs that we heard a few years ago, maybe that's how Apple brings it back. And you will be able to buy this, like, there will be like a wallpaper API, and you will be able to download wallpaper apps from the App Store, which I still think is a good idea, but it didn't happen. Obviously, we did get major customization changes, just not the way I was expecting them. We got them on the lock screen.
Yeah.
In a way that is even more than what I hoped Apple would do on the lock screen, though. We didn't get wallpaper apps. We didn't get custom icons for whatever you want. So this pick is, risky, but wrong.
Yeah, you were on the right track, right? That, like, surely they're going to come out and do some kind of customization features because it was so popular when the widgets came out.
Yeah.
But you're on the wrong area. There was wallpapers, but people could, you can't just sell them or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
I will similarly ask for to be considered my creativity and my boldness in my risky pick.
Yes.
Which was the new Mac Pro will be smaller, not a cube shape, feature no support for the current MPX modules, and or will allow some form of expandability outside of Thunderbolt. It will be available in one color.
This was very specific.
Yes. This was, I think, when I started my specific picks, or like was really going on the specific pick bandwagon for the riskies, because, sometimes something can feel obvious, so we won't allow it. But if you just add enough layers in, it becomes risky.
Right.
And this was one of them.
We have some of that for 2023, I think, too.
We'll see.
Yeah, I think you debuted this strategy. Like, you were first. You pioneered this strategy of the multi-layer risky pick, where you
hasn't gone well for me yet.
Well, in theory, it's one of those scientific theories that it's supposed to be true, but you still need to prove it out. Like, string theory or something? Like, in theory, it's supposed to be real and it works, but we continue to miss the evidence that it works. The multi-layer pick is your invention, but we still need to test it out in practice. And we failed in this instance as well, because all of our risky picks for the annual picks were incorrect.
So that means at the end of the regular picks, I have -1 point. Federico has 0 points. And Myke, you have 1. So Myke is the new annual chairman.
Congratulations.
Thank you. 2022 was a good year for me with prediction games.
Yeah.
Not with other things necessarily.
Not with other things.
But with this.
Lots of other things weren't good, but the one thing that was consistently good was this.
Yes. Well, congratulations, buddy.
Thank you very much. I would like to demand closing ceremonies.
Okay. Yeah.
Because trophies need to be updated. The trophies have not been updated in a really long time because Federico kept winning the keynote. So there was no point. So I now have my tricky right here in front of me, and I'm taking out the plastic discs.
I don't know where mine is. I think it's still in a box.
Well, when you find it, you're going to have to update
So the big circle goes over London.
Oh, yeah, you got to... Oh, yeah, I forgot there's whole other pieces in here. So if people at home can update their trickies or their mag trickies as they were, or you can go to websites and stuff and update them. So I need the big one to go over London. Stays in Rome.
Mm-hmm.
It's always sad when you lose an annual chairmanship, I feel like, because like you get it for a whole year, and now I don't even know who I am anymore.
Yeah, see, winning the annual is great because no one can take that from you.
Yeah.
For a whole year, that's yours. It's good. And the keynote one can last like 3 weeks if they do like a September and then an October event. It can be really short.
And also, if you want the opportunity to consolidate power, like that one time when I consolidated power for a really long time, you need this to do that. So I'm going for that again this year.
My wooden trophy has been updated.
Mine is also correctly updated. When Federico finds his, it will also be updated. Thank you.
Let us now move into the Flexies. So I have a preamble. The Flexies is a game held after each edition of the Rickies. It consists of a series of additional picks in relation to the upcoming Apple event or year. Scoring is completed separately from the main game, but like the Rickies, the order of picks is set by the results of the previous game, and ties will be broken using dice by Peacock. Please lie down as the rules are read.
Oh, I forgot about this part. Okay.
Host must make a minimum of 5 Flexi picks. Each correct pick is awarded with 1 point. Wrong picks do not remove any points, and no partial points may be awarded. The winner is determined by comparing the percentage of correct Flexis made by each host. While there are no Twitter handles on the line in the Flexis, the winner can use their chosen title as long as they are the winner. Federico shall be named Prince Flexi. Myke has chosen Duke of Flexington, and Stephen is the Attorney General Flexi. Loser of the Flexis must compensate the winner of the Flexis by donating to a charity of the winner's choice. The amount of the donation is $25 per wrong Flexi made by the loser. The money must be donated on air. I am the current winner.
Wait, is that accurate?
That may not
in
be
our
accurate.
document, it's. I think you are the current when it comes to keynotes.
Yeah.
But how does that work?
Well, hang on. Lower in the document, I have a history of all the winners. The 2021 annual Rickies, you won the Flexi. So you are currently keynote Flexis.
So does that mean that I've been Duke of Flexington this entire time?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can be double Duke of Flexington if you get both of them.
Okay, I like that.
You can pull off the famous double Duke.
We need to. Okay, so now I'm going to request an amendment to the Flexis rules.
Oh, no.
That we need to each have a name for if we are both.
Both what?
So we could be double Duke of Flexington.
Oh, if you are both the winner of the regular.
Maybe Crown Prince Flexi.
Oh, it's like we should use the Pokemon approach, I think, because it's like an evolution, right? So if I'm Prince Flexi, well, obviously, Myke, you gotta be Archduke or something.
Yes, Archduke of Flexington. That's good. That's really good. King Flexi, right?
I will be King Flexi.
Yeah.
And Steven will be U.S. president.
President General. It's just President Flexi.
President Flexi.
Right?
Yeah, well, I mean, what's more than AG Flexi?
Speaker of the Flexi House.
Speaker of the Flexis.
Okay, hang on. I got to type this up. Okay. Federico shall be named Prince Flexi and is known as King Flexi when having won both the keynote and annual games, and uses the name King. You're King Flexington?
No, I am Archduke of Flexington.
Is that one word, Archduke?
Yeah. I don't know, actually.
I think it's one word.
Yeah.
When?
Oh, it denotes a rank within the Holy Roman Empire, which
Wow.
was below that of Emperor or King, and roughly equal to Grand Duke, but above that of Prince and Duke.
Oh, I want to be. All right, so what's above it? So Stephen is the Attorney General Flexi, and uses the title
U.S.
I like Speaker of the Flexi
Chain-
House. You can go with whatever you want. but I
U.S.
think
chain
that
of
one's great.
command. Let's see.
Yes. Okay.
Military chain of command. Okay, so we have. Where's the?
Ooh, a better one. Hang on. Attorney General, U.S. Presidency, U.S. President, line of succession. Who's next in the line of succession to the president? So Attorney General is 7. Secretary of Defense is number 6.
Okay.
Secretary.
The secretary.
Of Deflex.
Oh my word.
Yes.
All right, so let me read these back. The winner can use their chosen title as long as they are the winner. Federico shall be named Prince Flexi and is known as King Flexi when having won both the keynote and annual games. Myke has chosen Duke of Flexington and uses the name Archduke Flexington when applicable. Steven is the Attorney General Flexi and uses the title Secretary of Deflex when applicable.
And what's so good about this is we have continued that Steven has the best name.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
This is the best name. AG Flex or Secretary of Deflex.
Just to make sure that we are spelling this out, it's DEFLEX. Deflex.
Yeah.
Okay. Perfect. Man, imagine if things go so horribly in the US that it's up to the Secretary of Agriculture to take power. Do you imagine?
Things are bad.
Things are bad.
I mean, that could happen.
Well,
Wasn't there a show about this?
there
And it
was
the agriculture
yes.
guy?
Was it the agriculture guy?
It was the guy from 24.
Oh my God, was it Designated Survivor? Was it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wasn't he like agriculture or something? Wasn't that like the thing? I don't know.
Designated survivor is what the Discord is saying.
Oh, but it was education, not agriculture.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
That's. I think that was
That's
two.
even worse. It's number 15, education.
Oh, is it? Okay, yeah. Secretary of Deflex is just so good. All right, so let's get back to scoring how we did.
Yes.
Myke, you were the previous Flexi winner for the annual game, so you go first.
All right. So Tim Cook says metaverse. This should have been my risky.
Yeah.
I was feeling it at the time, but it felt too risky. So I was like, oh, that's a good flexi. But he said it. He said it at the end of September in an interview. He said the word metaverse.
Will you put that link in the show notes for all time?
Sure will. So it's in there.
All right. That I am very surprised you got. And I think if you had come to us as a risky, I would have given it to you. Like, yes, you can use it.
The quote was, I'm really not sure the average person can tell you what the metaverse is, which is a real sick burn.
He's not wrong.
I mean, I can't. Can anybody? Does anybody even know?
The metaverse is basically Fortnite, right? And Roblox or something. Like it's
Yeah, Roblox
Yeah.
more than anything else, I think. But I don't think that's what Facebook wants it to be.
yeah, well,
New AirPods Max.
bummer.
Somehow no.
Did I get my bell, Stephen?
Yeah,
you
hummed
did. You
and
did.
everything.
Mhm.
I didn't.
Yeah.
I didn't hear the hum or the bell. So
Steven, can we do that?
apologize.
I hum and you ring the bell. Will it work?
No, because it's like noise cancellation just on my
Okay.
channel.
but I welcome you to join in. With
Okay,
the
I,
hum.
I want to hum together.
What if we try and all three of us harmonize?
Or harmonize.
Okay.
Yeah, you go. We can harmonize.
Okay.
I like that.
Okay, try humming, Steven.
All right. No. Oh, we can do it now. Okay.
Well, let's do your next
Okay,
pick, and then
okay.
we can do it in real time.
All right. A headset will not be unveiled at WWDC. I like this. Did you ever ring the bell? That took so long. All right. Okay. So we got it. Next time it comes around, we're going to harmonize, and then the bell happens. All right. An iMac Pro is unveiled. That was the start of a hum.
I really,
Don't
I
do
really
that.
wanted to hum, but no.
That didn't happen. That did not happen. And then here was my buzzkill. iPadOS multitasking remains unchanged from iOS 15's implementation.
Not a man of faith.
So I got 2 out of 5.
Yes, that takes you to 40%.
40% ratio. Okay.
Up next are my picks. iOS 16 will bring a more bottom of the screen centric design to at least one additional app. We got books, and I got the lock screen.
Why?
This is never not going to be good. Steven, can
Yes.
this go with the rules so we remember to do this?
Oh, no.
And I think you can't codify this connection we have.
I think we're going to forget.
We'll see. Yeah. So books and lock screen. I still think there should be more. I still think it's very strange that basically only Safari and books have it. But maybe next year's the year.
It's just one a year for the next 15 years.
Oh, gosh. Yeah. Okay. From here, it's all downhill. So
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just going to rattle through my next 4 that were all wrong. Apple announces a new paid service.
Wait a second.
Wait.
Does the Major League Soccer thing not count in this?
Oh,
It does, and also hold on. There's also there's also a satellite. The satellite service.
Oh, you can't spring that on us. We weren't ready for the harmonizing.
I thought you were actually thinking.
You cannot just throw that in there.
sorry. I'm sorry.
You know?
You get this point.
Well, now I went through my next three, which are all wrong.
Okay.
Okay.
A new home focus device is released.
Oh, wait. Doesn't the Major League Soccer qualify?
Yeah. The Mac Studio is home focus. No, it's not. Apple announces a developer kit for its headset.
Well, no.
This next one's so stupid. A more powerful Mac Mini is announced, but is not a, quote, Mac Mini Pro.
What did you mean with this?
The Mac Studio is this in spirit, but my pick was about the name because the name is in quotes, and I went back and listened.
Okay. What's the
My
name?
pick was about Mac Mini Pro being a name. Anyways, so I didn't get it right. They're still just the M1 Mac Mini. That'll probably come up in next year's picks. But
So you are tied with Myke in ratio. Should be 40% again.
yes, we are both 2 out of 5 at 40%. Now, there is strategy in this game, and this is going to come out right now because, Federico, you made 7 picks. The rules say you just have to have a minimum of 5, but sometimes you got to go for the glory. So let's see how it panned out.
Always go for the glory. Well, it didn't. So
I mean, it panned out.
it panned out, yes, but not the way I wanted.
With no gold.
So, number 1, Apple stops using the iTunes Store app and moves store content into dedicated apps. They started doing that, but the iTunes Store is still with us and it still has sections that are only available through the iTunes Store. Number 2, Apple brings mail extensions to iOS and iPadOS. They did not do that. Instead, they brought Driver Kit to iPadOS and nobody is using it. If you know of a company that is taking advantage of Driver Kit in iPadOS 16, let me know. I don't think anybody has. Number 3, Apple Notes will borrow some features from the modern generation of note-taking apps like wiki-style links, a quick switcher, or nested pages. Big nope. Number 4, some Mac-only shortcuts become available on iPhone or iPad. Would have expected the multitasking ones to be here, but number 5, there are new ways to turn off the alerts that Shortcuts displays constantly, either confirmation banner or the notification for an automation.
I don't know what we're humming about. Like, I didn't know this was a thing.
You can. Well, there's a couple of things here. First, you can disable the confirmation banner for automations, like you can run an automation without the confirmation alert. And second, new ways. The dynamic islands could be considered a new way to not have the confirmation. But anyway, there's a setting to disable the confirmation for Shortcuts automations. Number 6, podcasts will gain audio effects for enhanced sound and trim silence. Parentheses, this was my previous Ricky. Thankfully, I didn't go for it for a Ricky, but no. And number 7, finally, Apple adds more filters to smart folders in Notes.
I think we need to. It's too late now, but I think it needs to go. One of us must start, and then the others follow, because it's impossible to harmonize if we're all going at the same time.
It's perfect. There's no problems with the system that we have created.
Fair enough.
So obviously,
I'm glad they did this, Federico.
Yeah.
I find it very frustrating that notes and reminders handle this so differently from each other.
Yes, the inconsistency is what kills me here. Like some things you can do in Notes, but you cannot do in Reminders and vice versa. There should be some more unification there. And while you're at it, maybe next year, here's my suggestion for Apple. While you're at it, next year, unify, bring some consistency to the rules and the filters that you have in Notes and Reminders. And once you establish that baseline of consistency, bring this feature to Mail and let me create smart folders in Mail.
It's only been on the Mac since 2001.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
So,
Okay. It didn't pan out for you. You got 2 out of 7, which is 28.6%.
Nice number, though. I like it.
Yeah. Nice number. So you are the flexi loser, I'm sorry to say. I'm also sorry to say that Myke and I now have to coin flip.
It comes down once again to a coin flip.
It does.
And Myke has an advantage here, as he's got very real strong coin flip energy flowing through him right now.
He does.
As I always do. I have Dice by Peacock open and available. I'm checking that it's in Relay FM mode, which I'm sure it is. Yep, it is. Are you ready?
I am, and I choose tails.
Oh, interesting. It's interesting. You just think you get to choose, but
You're flipping it. You can't flip and pick.
Sure I can.
Yeah, you can.
Sure you can. But anyway, all right, your tails. Heads. Yes.
It's impossible.
What's even so good about that is like I was the one who suggested that you should get your point, therefore equaling mine. So I was like gracious.
Yeah, you were gracious
Right?
about it. You were benevolent about it.
Yeah, and I still took the win. So that is a double win for me today, which feels pretty good.
Which makes you. No, it doesn't make you anything
No, it doesn't make me
Okay.
anything yet.
yet. Okay.
But I am. Well, it does make me Duke of Flexington.
But you are Duke of Flexington. Yes. Okay.
And you need to pick a nonprofit or some organization for Federico to donate to.
Ah, yes.
Oh, I gotta pay up.
Yep.
Yeah.
And your total, Federico, is going to be $125.
Nice. Good money.
So I put a link in our iMessage here. Federico, I would like you to donate to Crisis, which is a charitable organization in the UK to help
cool.
people who are experiencing homelessness. It is economically disastrous in the United Kingdom right now. The price of general living is really bad for a lot of people. And so this is these kinds of charities at the moment, I think, need some help because there are people experiencing homelessness who wouldn't have before, let alone the people that already were.
And Myke, while he does that, I do need to we need to say this. So the last keynote flexies, let me look. The last keynote flexies you won.
Wait.
And you won this. So you are currently Archduke.
Hell yeah, my
you
day
said,
keeps getting better and better over here.
You said I was keynote chairman when we began the show, Steven.
We can't trust that rules document, clearly.
Federico, so September 2020. Federico by coin flip, then Myke, then me. Flexies, Myke, Federico, then Steven.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'm the keynote chairman. Myke is the new annual chairman.
Yes.
He's just Duke of Lexington.
No, I'm Archduke.
Yeah,
Why?
so it's...
Because I won in September.
Yeah.
You said I
the
won.
Flexies.
You said,
no, you won the Rickies.
Yeah.
I won the Flexies.
Wait. Oh yeah. Well, then go back to the updated rules then, because I think the way it's phrased is confusing.
No, it's just in the Flexies rules. It's only in the Flexi rules.
Myke is the current winner of the keynote Flexies, and Myke is the winner of the annual Flexies. So Myke gets to use Archduke Flexington until further notice.
Okay, yeah.
Myke has, out of the 4 titles, Myke has 3. Federico, you have 1. I have 0.
Watch out, spring. Your boy's coming for you, you know?
If you consolidate all 4, I don't know what happens. I don't think it's ever happened before.
We'll have to give me a brand new name. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know what it is. Like Galactic Emperor or something?
God. So, at some point, at which point do you start a cult? You know?
What a great day.
This episode of Connected is brought to you by Hover. Have you ever thought about starting your own business, creating a band, sharing your wealth of knowledge with the world, or using your years of experience to create something for yourself? Hover wants to help you take those first steps in getting your ideas off the ground. If you have a brand you've always dreamed of building or a business that you want to take online, the first step is finding a domain name. Hover makes this super simple with a clear and straightforward user experience, easy to use tools, and truly amazing support from friendly human beings. It's never too late to step up to the plate and share what you have to offer. Getting online has helped thousands of people around the world reach new heights with their businesses. Hover is the only place where I keep my domains. Anytime I have an idea for a new project, they're where I start. Their search tools are really helpful. Sometimes the domain you want, someone else has, but it suggests a bunch of different ones that it thinks would work for you. And it's more than just the classic .com. You can get extensions like .shop, .tech, and .art. There's more than over 400 to choose from. So you're going to be able to find your perfect domain name, one that's memorable, relevant, and boost your brand. If you buy a domain and set up custom email boxes, you can point it to your website in just a few clicks. If you ever run into trouble, help is just a phone call or chat away. Secure, simple, and reliable, Hover is a trusted and popular choice for millions of people launching any kind of brand or business. If you're ready to get your idea off the ground with the perfect domain name, go to hover.com/connected to get 10% off your first Hover purchase. That's hover.com/connected to get 10% off. Our thanks to Hover for their support of the show and Relay FM.
During the show today, I've registered chairman.social. So
Nice.
if we ever decide to do that, I did it with the E, right? As you said, Federico, chairman.
With
Because
the
it would be
E,
the
yeah.
multiple.
Yeah, because it's exactly, yes.
Yeah. So I have that now.
Very cool. Very cool. Okay.
So it is now time to make our picks for 2023. We're going to put some stakes in the ground for what we think could happen next year. Myke, you are the newly minted annual chairman. So please, sir, go first.
Oh, I like that. Thank you. My first pick in round one is that Apple will release a larger MacBook Air.
I hope so.
So this has been rumored for a little bit, actually, and it keeps kind of gaining some steam. It's like maybe like 15.5 inches, something like that.
Yeah.
I think that would be super cool, and I think it would be very popular.
And I think it could replace the 13-inch MacBook Pro in the lineup. So you would have a 13 and 15-inch MacBook Air, 14 and 16 MacBook Pro. It makes so much sense. I've said this before. It makes so much sense. I'm a little afraid Apple won't do it, but I hope that they do.
That's a very fair fear to have. This is so sensible. They won't.
So my first regular pick is kind of a boring one, but hey, that's how you gotta win these games. Apple releases a new Mac Mini. That's the pick. My context, without, this is not part of the pick, just my personal speculation. I would assume it's got the same design as the Mac Mini we have today. Maybe it's got an M2 inside. It would be nice to have more Thunderbolt ports. I have a refurbished M1 Mac Mini and it's only got the 2 Thunderbolt ports. Be nice to have more of those with the M2, with the new Mac Mini. I don't know if Apple is considering like M2 Pro or M2 Max versions of that machine, but still, for 2023, my sort of base hope is that we get a new Mac Mini.
Could be an M3.
Could be
by the time it comes out.
Could be.
Maybe. But I just hope it comes out this year.
My pick is that WWDC 2023 follows the same format as WWDC 2022 with a small number of people invited in person.
All right, let's get some clarification on this one. So are you saying that there won't be like they're not going to have a convention center and people can apply for tickets?
Yeah, I'm saying it's going to be just like it was in 2022.
Okay.
Not coming back the way that it was, staying the way that it is now. Hopefully, plus you. I mean, that's obviously unsaid.
Well, I mean, I was invited the first time.
It's true.
Just couldn't get over the 12-yard line or whatever it would be. Did I use that metaphor correctly?
No, it works. It's fine, I guess. I don't know why you picked 12, but sure.
How many yards are there to the touchdown?
Well, it depends on where you are in the field, really. You cross the goal line, I think, is what you're looking for.
What's a yard?
It's like a meter, kind of.
Oh, it's one of your units of measurement that doesn't make any sense.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
True.
Cool.
I feel pretty good about all three of these. Like, I'll say it now. I think all three of these could be green in a year.
Yeah, this seemed...
Not a lot of passion in round
No,
one.
but that's okay. You got to warm up. You can't jump right in.
No, but I think the vibe for 23 is the year of obviousness.
All right.
Just
see
normal,
how that
obvious things. This is the vibe. The vibe
Is that your theme for the year?
Obvious.
No, it's not my theme for the year. I still gotta think about a name for my theme of the year. But in terms of the Apple scene, vibe check for 23, obvious things, no surprises.
I like it. Round 2, Mike.
An iPhone gets USB-C. Could be going a tad early on this one.
I think it's a premature pickification.
Well, interesting.
Pickification.
We'll see. I feel like there's a smattering of passion on this one. I could be going a year early. It's open to interpretation, but this could have been a thing that Apple would just, maybe they were ready and willing to do anyway, at least on the Pro phones. So why not just go for it? And so my expectation is, this is ungraded, that it will be just the Pro phones that get it now, and then there will be the regular phones in 2024.
I could see that. And I think if they did that, I actually really like that idea. I think if they do that, it'll be like, hey, now we got super fast transfer for all of your ProRes. And they'd make it about what it gives them, not about the EU on their backs.
Yeah, they whenever they do it, they're going to make it like... They're not going. I can't imagine during the keynote that they're going to start dragging the European Union, right? Like it just doesn't really feel.
It seems like an unwise move.
I know Joz did it, right? But like it was a different environment to do it in it, like that Wall Street Journal thing with Joanna Stern. But I feel like it's not the way that they're going to go when they actually show off these products.
I don't know. I think all the phones will get it. I don't think you are premature. I think if they want to get it done in time for the EU, they got to do it this year. And if you're doing it this year...
the rule, as it is stated now, is by the end of 2024.
Yeah,
so
but
why
drag it? Why drag it out?
Oh, I agree. But they could release a phone this year with Lightning and then in September of 24 and still be technically compatible with the law.
All right. My second regular pick is also, I think, a fairly safe one. There will not be an iPhone 15 mini. That's the pick.
I love you, but this is one of the most boring picks you've ever picked.
That's how you got. Well, I am facing unprecedented circumstances. At the risk,
what are they?
We are at the risk of losing democracy in the Rickies.
Okay.
We are facing a single individual aiming to consolidate power across all of 4 of the titles that we have in the Rickies. My only defense strategy is to go for a very boring pick.
Well, not really, because this is the wrong Rickies to do that in. Because my ability to consolidate power is an immediate thing, not a 2024 thing.
I gotta think down the line.
Long
Don't
term.
worry. I will also deal with the upcoming keynote Rickies. I'm sorry, but I told you, year of obviousness. I gotta go for obvious picks. Make sure that we will not end up with a dictatorship in the Rickies.
Right. You're the defendant of democracy.
I am the savior of the Republic.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
And I am like Darth Vader or whatever.
Yes.
Or the Emperor, I guess.
Yes.
More Emperor. Do you know? I'm talking about Star Wars.
I know that's
I don't know
Star
if you knew
Wars.
that. Okay.
No Intel Macs are left on sale as new at the end of 2023.
I mean, that could be bold. I mean, you know what I mean?
What is as new? I don't understand the parentheses.
I want to hedge against the two of you saying, oh, there's a refurbished Intel Mac Mini on the refurbished store.
What?
So
No.
new
Okay.
computers.
Okay.
Apple Silicon.
I go to Apple.
I still think this could be bold because that Mac Pro could still be on. They could still be selling the old one.
I still don't understand the phrasing. So if I go to apple.com, not on the refurbished website. That's excluded. I go on apple.com and I see an Intel Mac from 3 years ago. Does that qualify?
Yeah.
It's the as new that
my pick is about what you
I
can
find confusing.
Yeah. So this is what I'm trying to say is, and I could change the wording, but my pick is discounting anything that happens to be refurbished. Everything is Apple Silicon. So like everything you buy at apple.com/store that's a new product is Apple Silicon.
I mean, this makes sense to me.
So basically what it gets rid of is the 2018 Mac Mini and the 2019 Mac Pro. Those two would not be on sale anymore.
Okay.
And I could specify that if you guys need it, but I feel like I could do an ungraded note if we want to.
Yeah, if you want to. This doesn't include the refurbished store or education store. Like, you should get rid of those. And
Yeah.
And I think this is bold. I could imagine them having the Mac Pro still available, even if they have a new one.
Maybe.
If it's different enough, they might keep it around for a little bit longer.
We'll find out. I think they want to move. The longer they have an Intel Mac on sale, the longer they have to support it in Mac OS. And I think they want to move on. So
I need to get their finger out.
But we'll see. I mean, yeah, this could come. If my beloved 2019 Mac Pro comes back to haunt me for this, that's what I get for selling it, I guess. Okay. So that's the end of round 2. I feel like we're increasing the risk a little bit, except for Federico, who's being very boring this year. Mm-hmm. And it's time.
Unless the Plus was such a disaster, you know what I mean? They're like screeching brakes and bringing out a Mini.
Turn it to 11. Myke, what is your risky pick?
Apple shows off their headset in March. They announced developer tools at WWDC. Then show it off again at an event in September. It ships to customers in October.
This is so specific.
So specific.
Well, I mean, you got to be, right? So the one thing I want to clarify with you guys is the ships to customers, right?
Yeah, what does that
because,
mean?
Sometimes you can buy a thing on a certain date and it starts shipping on a certain date. Uh-huh. What I'm saying is the shipping date is October.
Okay. So if you can order in October but you can't get it till November, you miss this.
Correct.
Okay. I like the idea of this because it follows the pattern of the Apple Watch. The Apple Watch was announced at the iPhone 6 event in the fall of 2014, and then we learned more about it in early 2015, and sometime in there they released, what was it, WatchKit? Was that the first stab at a developer platform?
Yes.
And then it went on sale a little bit later. Like, I think that rollout would work well for this product as well. Who knows if your timing is right, but I think the shape of it is good.
Yeah, I mean, it's just the reason I've done this is that I've been saying that I reckon that they were going to do it this way for a while. That like the first time that we see the headset will not be at WWDC and will not be at the iPhone event. Like that's my personal feeling on this because I think it makes a lot of sense to stage it out, as you mentioned, the same way they did with the Apple Watch, the same way they did with like the original iPhone. Like you have space in which they can show something off, get people to start thinking. They can maybe start then bringing more like key developers, like prominent developers, to Apple Park to show them the thing because now people know about it, so they can start working on stuff. Maybe get some like advanced access to their tools. Then at WWDC, give those tools to everyone. People have had time to think and start like like what it might be, and then also then they don't lose all of WWDC to showing off the headset. Right? Because you show off the headset at WWDC, no one's talking or thinking about anything else.
That's the whole show.
I think that they probably wouldn't announce the developer tools at the time that they show it off for the first time if they do show it off in the spring. And then they can do the whole thing, as you just mentioned. I think this was the event that Federico was at. Were you at the September event, right? Where they were like...
I was at the March one.
Oh, were you? Okay. Well,
yeah, March 2015.
You were at the one where they showed it off for the first time?
No, they showed it for the first time in September 14. March 15 is when we got prices, and they played all the videos about the aluminum and the stainless steel and the gold, all that stuff.
But in essence, what I'm saying, they will do that, but in September with the iPhone, they'll be like, hey, and then it starts shipping later on in the year.
Okay. Yeah, I think your idea about it eating WWDC alive is totally accurate, and I think maybe that really defines how they would do this.
So
like, who would even remember what was in iOS or macOS, right? Like, they would just eat it all.
Yeah. Read it again, Myke, just because it's so long.
It's a lot of dates. Apple shows off their headset in March. They announce developer tools at WWDC, then show it off again at an event in September. It ships to customers in October.
All right, I am bringing the passion.
It's about time.
With my risky pick. All the obviousness was just a decoy. I just needed to confuse my enemies. I am bringing the passion with this one. Okay.
I'm so confused.
Yes, I know. That was the strategy. I needed to confuse my adversaries in this game. Apple will release its biggest iPad ever with a display of at least 16 inches. It won't be OLED. It'll have the front-facing camera on the landscape side and 2 USB-C ports at least. It'll be called iPad Studio.
Oh, Federico, this is insane. I'll tell you where you lose me.
Mm-hmm.
2 USB-C ports at least.
Now you can do it.
That's where you lose me.
Now why? The Surface has it. It's totally doable.
Oh, sure.
It's the break that Driver Kit needs.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I find it very peculiar that your argument here is the Surface has it.
Well, no, it's an argument. The other argument being if you're making...
Right.
So my idea is that Apple is making this bigger iPad. It's been sort of rumored before, the 14-inch and the 16-inch form factors for the iPad.
Right.
My idea is if you're making a 16-inch iPad, it's obviously sort of a convertible device, but it's more optimized for desktop usage. If you're making an iPad for desktop usage, I struggle to think that you can get by with just a single Thunderbolt port. If you're making an iPad that you primarily advertise as, oh, your place is on your desk, and then, maybe there's some new accessories, maybe it's sort of kind of like a Surface Studio that has a stand that you can pull down. Maybe it's something else. But in any event, imagine if you buy a Mac and it's a desktop Mac and it's got one USB-C port. I mean, that happened a few years ago. It was the MacBook, I think, and it didn't go over well. And it wasn't a desktop. It was still a MacBook. If you're making an iPad that is primarily optimized for desktop usage, like imagine a 16-inch tablet that you can use. A single USB-C port, I think it will look very strange. The rest is just predicated upon the idea that Apple is in fact making a 16-inch iPad. The front-facing camera on the long side, on the landscape side, it's based on the base model iPad, moving the camera to what is...
Can you imagine holding a 16-inch iPad in portrait?
In portrait, exactly.
That would be horrible. That would be such a bad experience.
Yeah, that would be like, am I an iPad user or am I Moses? Like, I cannot tell the difference. And lastly, the name. I know that the name is also what makes this pick risky. I really do believe that the Studio name that they introduced last year with the Mac Studio is not a one-off. I want to believe it's part of a bigger strategy that will involve more computers called Studio. I mean, we already have the Studio display. There's also rumors of Apple making new displays in the near future. I do believe that the Studio name would be perfect for an iPad. If you're making a big iPad, what better way to have that device go up against the Surface Studio? I should also say there's the Surface Studio 2 as a $5,000 computer that you can buy. I would love this device. There have been some rumors about, Gurman talked about a 14-inch iPad that Apple was working on, and I believe the Information a few months ago published a report on Apple also making a 16-inch iPad, and the details are what I added to this pick. Taking a page from Myke and his multi-layer pick, trademark registered, of course. Once again, Apple will release its biggest iPad ever with a display of at least 16 inches. It won't be OLED. It'll have the front-facing camera on the landscape side and 2 USB-C ports at least. It'll be called iPad Studio.
The saddest thing would be if the naming is what kills you.
I know. Well, you gotta take the plunge and, risk it.
You said it won't be OLED. Are you picturing mini LED or like plain LCD?
Ideally, it should be mini LED like the current iPad Pro, but I could also see a scenario in which Apple says it's 16 inches, but you get IPS. because
That'd be a bummer.
they all always do this stuff. But it'd be a bummer, and it'd be weird because like they could just reuse the display of the MacBook Pro, right? If they're
But
making,
you know what they would say? They would say like, it's the best.
it's the best IPS, and in our testing, we believe that at this size, like whatever, wherever, you just didn't want to make it.
Mine is related to yours, but specific in different ways. Apple releases a 15-inch iPad Pro, which replaces the 11-inch model.
Spicy. Okay.
Having heard Federico, I would like some clarifying questions for you.
Okay.
Now. Like, I agree with the riskiness of this pick, but I think it's important to do some clarifying questions. 15-inch. What about 14.9? So you don't get it, right?
It says 15.
Like, you're saying it starts at 15?
Yeah.
All right.
I'm actually thinking 15.4.
Okay.
Then I think you should clarify that, because if it's 15.4, the wording of your pick says you do not get it.
Well, I mean, that's what I'm thinking, because that was an old MacBook Pro size, but
Yeah.
it could be 15.7 or something. 15-inch.
Well, so Federico says at least 16 inches. I think that you should say releases like an iPad is at least, right? It's at least.
Yeah.
I think is the important part there.
At least 50 releases a...
An iPad Pro.
But then it actually makes it less risky, because if it's 16, then I still get it. And I think it'll be a 15-inch
All right.
class.
So you think 15 dead then?
An iPad Pro with a screen
in between 15.0 and 15.9
in
inches.
between 15.0 and 15.9
It's the only way
inches.
to do this. Yeah.
All right. I mean, I like it. You just made it worse.
15.9999 inches.
Yep. Why just 4 nines?
If they do 15.9998, I'm willing to lose.
Okay.
And the 11-inch model goes away. And the reason I added that is because it would simplify the problem we talked about earlier, where you have like the 10th gen, the Air, and the Pro. They're all basically the same size. They're all very similar in form factor and function, especially the Air and the Pro. Like, why would you buy an 11-inch iPad Pro? I think we all think it's dead. And it also kind of resonates with the big MacBook Air idea. So we would have the 10th gen iPad, you would have the iPad Air, and then you have the iPad Pro at 12.9 and 15 point something inches. It just feels like a cohesive family.
So I will mention this part. Like, one thing that I'm concerned about for my round 1 pick, right, is I could imagine that Apple could name a larger MacBook Air a MacBook Studio. Like, that is a possibility.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm kind of thinking for the MacBook, they may just want to lean on the branding of Air, which is, their most popular.
It is.
So I wrap around and say, I think the risk for you is I think they are more likely to not have 2 iPad Pros if they're going to have just 2 really big iPads, and that they might give it a different name. I wish you good luck with your pick.
We'll see.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see. So those are our risky picks for 2023.
Can you read yours again, Stephen, please? Because we changed it.
Apple releases an iPad Pro with a screen between 15.0 and 15.999 inches, which replaces the 11-inch model. I always feel pretty good about my riskies until I read them out loud on the show. It's like,
yeah, the reading out loud is the problematic part.
Yeah.
But we now move to the Flexies. Mike, what do you have?
There is no iPad bigger than 12.9 inches.
Wow. Okay. Okay.
And I actually kind of believe this. I don't know if it's going to happen in 2023, to be honest with you boys. I could imagine if they do this, it's 2024. Like, the iPad is on an 18-month refresh. They just did it, right? I think 2024 is the next time that anything happens to the iPad line.
But they barely did it.
An iPhone gets a periscope camera.
Yeah. Okay.
I like it.
Yeah.
Apple's headsets uses widgets that look similar to iOS.
Uses? What do you mean? Uses widgets?
Has
widgets.
Supports
widgets.
Apple's headset has widgets that look similar to
Okay.
iOS. Apple releases an iMac with a larger screen.
I hope so.
AirPods Max 2 feature a foldable design and come with a new case that fully encloses them. I am manifesting here.
Okay.
If they ship that original case again, I just don't know what's happening at that company.
I am manifesting, and I'm going to manifest again. The iPad mini gets updated, featuring either a mini LED or OLED screen.
Oh boy.
It's,
This is just those last two. I'm just fully manifesting.
they're just going to do a spec bump of the iPad mini, right? They're not going to do
if I'm
anything else.
lucky.
If you're lucky,
Yeah,
in
well, if I'm lucky.
2024,
if you're lucky, you're getting a spec bump. And that's it.
Well, my first flexi is the iPad mini will be updated in 2023.
Nice.
Okay.
Apple Music Classic ships in 2023.
Is that the name you're giving it?
Yeah, in fact, is that the name?
Yes.
Apple Music Classic.
Apple Music Classic.
And I'm telling you, Apple is announcing, I'm manifesting here. Apple is announcing Apple Music Classic tomorrow, December 29th, as we're recording this. They are doing it tomorrow. I can feel it. Something in the universe is telling me this.
Why do you think classic and not classical?
Apple Music Classic seems like
But it's not called classic
more
music.
Apple-y name.
It's not what it's called. It's classical music.
Apple Music Classical. All right, Apple Music Classical.
Yeah.
Apple Music Classical.
Federico,
Ships.
do you know something?
I don't know anything. I don't know anything. I'm making things up as I go.
If they release this tomorrow, Thursday, December 29th, like I just...
Let me say it publicly. I do not know anything. This is just my imagination. Please don't sue me.
We'll see.
Twitter were filed for bankruptcy in 2023.
Yeah,
Okay. Going outside of the usual there.
The iPhone 15 and 15 Pro use the same generation system on a chip. I think this business they have this year with the 14 using basically last year's chip isn't working out for them. And I don't think they're going to repeat it.
Okay.
There may be differences. That's why I said same generation. It may be, the Pro has more GPU cores or whatever, but...
So it could be like A16 and A16X or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. But not the A15 and A16.
Why do you think it's not working for them?
I don't think they're selling any iPhone 14s.
Because of the chip?
I think that's part of it.
I don't think it's because of the chip.
And I think it's probably part of the design too, but my pick is about the chip. Apple sells, quote, iPhone 15 Ultra. Pro Max brand is gone.
I would be so happy.
iPhone 15 Ultra.
I would love this.
It's a good
I
name.
love this. It's a great name. This is not the first time that Apple has just straight up ripped off Samsung's naming conventions.
And they could just go bananas on the big phone.
Ultra is a great name.
Great name.
Good work to Samsung.
iPhone 15 Ultra is a great name. Also, just get iPhone 15 Ultra. It's the best one. Yeah, I like it. I like it.
And obviously they use Ultra already, right? They've started using it, so
Yeah.
let's do it.
I'm doubling down on an Apple Silicon Mac Pro. Excuse me.
Do it.
The Apple Silicon Mac Pro allows third-party GPUs to be used.
Okay.
Well, can I ask you a question?
Yes.
Like, to be used, this isn't for the pick. You can use them in a Thunderbolt enclosure. Like, you're imagining
No, you can't. No. They've gotten rid of that a long time. That's gone.
but in theory,
No, you
They
can't
could
on
bring
Apple
that support
Silicon.
back.
Apple Silicon doesn't allow for it.
that they could do that though. They have the ability to add that
Sure.
in if they wanted to. It's a thing that Thunderbolt can do, right? So like, they could decide that what they're just going to bring that in as possible. You are imagining they go inside.
And I can clarify that because I don't think external GPU support's going to be a thing.
We don't have to do that for the Flex.
If they don't do this, then what's the difference between a Mac Studio and a Mac Pro? Like, I don't know.
Size, I don't know. You know?
Yeah.
Especially considering that Mark Gurman report that they have stopped development of a specific chip for it.
The Extreme, yeah.
I think that really they need to have this as a thing.
And lastly, kind of bouncing off Federico's Mac Mini pick from earlier, the Mac Mini is updated to include more than one system on a chip option. For example, non-great example, M2 and M2 Pro. The M1 Pro only showed up in the laptops, and there's a gap between the base Mac Mini and the base Mac Studio, because the Studio is M1 Max and M1 Ultra. Look, there's the Ultra name again. And the Pro never landed anywhere else, and a high-end Mac Mini and maybe Mike's bigger iMac, a great place for a Pro chip. And so Mac Mini is updated to include more than one system on a chip option. I feel pretty good about that one.
Okay. Very nice. All right. My flexes. Number 1. There will be new ways to invoke Siri by voice instead of saying, "Hey Siri." And now I just realized I may be triggering other people's devices. I'm sorry. But
Nah, it's pretty good.
New ways to invoke Siri by voice instead of using that default invocation phrase.
Okay. I just have a question, not read to your Foxy in terms of scoring. I know with Amazon, you can choose a couple of different words.
Yeah.
Do you see Apple doing that? Or are they just dropping the hey?
Yeah, the rumor that we saw a few weeks ago said that Apple was working on removing the hey part and just saying Siri. I would actually prefer like a custom invocation phrase, but I understand that maybe Apple doesn't like that approach and then,
branding, baby.
It's branding
Think
and
about the branding. Because Siri has such a good positive brand that people like and appreciate. You know what I mean?
Sure. Number 2, Apple will revive the HomePod line with new devices. I think they gotta do something here, right?
Is that a plural?
These two go hand in hand.
New devices, plural. Yes.
More than one new device.
So if they make just a new HomePod, that is not enough. They gotta make more new HomePods, excluding the HomePod Mini. The HomePod
What
Mini,
about an update to the HomePod Mini?
No, it doesn't qualify. New devices.
New device? I like it.
Personally, what I would like to have, this was actually supposed to be my risky pick. I want to have a HomePod soundbar. I want Apple to make a HomePod soundbar. Or just, I don't know, make wild things. Like we talked about that idea of a HomePod with support for placing an iPad on top of it. That was something that Google is doing.
Like the iPad dock thing.
Google is doing the Nest Hub dock, whatever it's called. It's supposed to be coming out in the spring, I think. But yeah, do wild things and do more things with the HomePod.
Here's my ideal device here, right? HomePod soundbar with an integrated Apple TV.
Yes.
And a camera.
Yes.
That's what I want it to be.
To all of that. Absolutely. Number 3, AirPods Max 2 will ship during the year. I realize now I don't want them to be called AirPods Max 2. So let's just say second generation AirPods Max will ship during the year. Number 4, there is no second gen Apple Watch Ultra this year. I don't know. I don't think it's on an annual schedule. I don't know. It doesn't strike me as the kind of product that they will release every year. You know?
You think it's every 2, or do you think it go to like an 18-month?
18-month or maybe every 2 years, but it's like, it kind of feels like the Mac Pro of Apple Watches, that every time they do it, it's got to be special in some new and important ways. I don't know. I would be surprised to see an Apple Watch Ultra 2 this year again.
I agree with what you're saying there, of like, they don't need to do hey, we gave it an extra hour battery life. Like, that's not important, right? I think that there is a sense in like, it's got to have a new feature. Yeah, interesting. I can see that.
Number 5. I'm hoping this happens now. Apple brings new actions to shortcuts to control Windows on iPad OS. We talked about this.
Pure manifesting.
I am manifesting with this one and the next one. So I'm just going to go in order here. Apple releases new developer APIs for Stage Manager. This applies to both macOS and iPadOS. As we talked about, there is no developer framework whatsoever for Stage Manager. I am manifesting that there will be one, but this time next year.
I chuckled at new developer APIs because they're none. Like any developer API.
Any developer. And number 7, I'm going for 7 again. At least one Twitter app update will be rejected from the App Store.
100%. That will happen.
How will we know this, though?
There'll be a PR thing. We'll know.
Elon will tweet it.
Yeah, Elon will tweet it.
Actually, I think for this to be true, we need a source other than Elon.
I don't think that's possible, right? Like,
how Apple will never say anything.
Yeah.
And Twitter doesn't have
well,
a
they
PR
might. They did about Parler. Like they gave like, we want them to update the moderation, but like the Apple gave.
But no, I don't want to clarify that though in my pick.
Yeah, it's not. I don't think it's necessary for a Flexi.
Okay.
You guys went with 7. Can I add one?
Sure.
I've done this before. I'm at 6.
Sure.
All right. Apple releases a new monitor.
Ooh, okay. I like it. Oh, you know what I also
I'll go with
want?
7. Everyone else is on 7.
This is non part of the pick, but just as we're talking, if they're making new HomePod devices, you know what I want? I want a portable HomePod.
Yeah.
Give me a portable HomePod, like a Sonos Roam, but it's a HomePod.
Mm-hmm.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Sonos Roam is a superb product.
I know. I think I'm
Really good.
I think I'm gonna get a pair of those for my desk.
They're really good. I don't think you need a pair for your desk. They're huge, Federico.
No, you're thinking of the Move.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, the Roam is the smaller one. Still portable.
The Move.
Still can be
I'm
used
talking
over
about the Move.
Wi-Fi. Yeah.
The Move is great. Move is
OTJ
great.
has
I
the
love that
Move.
one.
OTJ has the Move,
Yeah.
and he likes it.
Uh-huh. I heard it on App Stores.
So that's it. I think we did it.
Okay.
Those are the flexes.
If you want to find the handful of links that we have this week, go over to the show notes at relay.fm/connected/431. You can find us all online. Myke hosts a bunch of other shows here on Relay FM and hosts the Friday Keyboard Club at Myke.live most Fridays. Do you have one coming up?
Couldn't tell you. We're recording in advance, so I have no idea.
Recording in advance. Just keep an eye on Myke.live.
Who knows?
Make it your
Who
homepage.
knows?
You can find Federico. He's the editor-in-chief of MacStories.net. Make MacStories your homepage as well. They have a bunch of good stuff.
2 browsers.
Apple Frames.
2 homepages.
Apple Frames, shortcuts, app reviews, all sorts of fun stuff. You can find... Why are you laughing?
The homepage thing is funny.
Look, we don't have Twitter accounts to read anymore. I haven't settled on a new ending of the show, and it's very hard for me. Okay?
Yeah, I would like to give you notes about my outro, you know?
Yeah, because you don't like to promote your keyboard thing.
Oh, I would much prefer to promote the Cortex brand. That would be
Well,
more.
I can't do that. That's crossing the streams.
No, why? If we can promote Mac Stories and promote 512 pixels.
Okay, I'll just start over. Here's what I'm
You
going
have
to
to
do.
start over.
No, we're gonna
This
rewind.
should all stay in, you know?
Rewound. Okay. Myke does other stuff on the internet. Myke, what would you like to promote to our connected listeners?
You won't do it? You won't say it?
Myke sells notebooks at cortexmerch.com
Perfect, thank you.
and pins and sweaters and stuff.
Sometimes pens.
Federico is the editor-in-chief of MacStories.net. Anything cool coming up on Mac Stories?
In January, it's usually the time when I want to release a bunch of shortcuts and things for people. And I've been working on this Apple Frames update for ages now. I think when I come back from my break, that'll be first on the list.
Awesome.
So yeah, in January, I just got a bunch of things in the backlog that I want to release for free to people.
You can find me on Mac Power Users every Sunday here on Relay FM, and my writing is over at 512pixels.net. I don't sell pins anywhere or write about shortcuts. I'd like to thank our sponsors. They are ExpressVPN and Hover. If you would like longer ad-free versions of the show each and every week, you can sign up at relay.fm/connected/join. Myke, there's another URL people can use.
GetConnectedPro.co.
There you go. Each and every week, longer and ad-free episodes. We've been keeping up with Federico building his entertainment system and then rebuilding it.
Yeah.
And then rebuilding it again.
And returning everything.
Returning everything. You're on a list at Amazon, for sure. Thank you for listening. We are excited about what 2023 may hold. And we'll have a winner again very soon. Until next time, guys, say goodbye.
Arrivederci.
Cheerio.
Bye, y'all.